a man.
Yes, that's real.
Yeah. I do. That's one of the things. It's like, I just want to lay my head on a man's chest. I miss that. I do. Yeah. And that's the thing.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is another beautiful day in Zamunda. Okay guys, tonight we're gonna be I don't know why I can't get my days and stuff right. I don't know if it will ever happen, but we have a very important conversation because we have been now on our 6th video. I mean, I have talked about this topic to death. And it never crossed my mind in the process of having this conversation. Did I just say process? Sorry, my Canadian friends are getting to me. Shout out to all my Canadian listeners out there who have joined the channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you who are wavering between should I subscribe or should I not subscribe, hit that subscribe button because conversations are going to be shifting into a completely different place. But I wanted to talk about some of the results, the impact, if you may, of the movement of 4B, decentering men, boss girl, feminism, independence, global people extinction, as it pertains to what it actually means. Because I really believe, like I've said before, I don't really think people have actually thought this through. So, we're here today to talk about some of the realities that come up later on in people's lives when they decide to opt out of relationships, particularly women. Because like I said in my last video, if you have not checked that one out, please go ahead and do so. A lot of the people who talk about decentering men, dual income, no kids, the 4B movement and all that good stuff. And when I say all that good stuff, I am actually being very sarcastic. But the people who talk about these things are usually generally young people who haven't lived long enough to actually suffer the consequences of their actions. And so it is always, I won't say that this is something that I wish on my worst enemy or something that I actually look upon as I see people age into loneliness with any amount of pleasure or like personal sense of gratification, like I told you so. It is very, very sad for me to see women, especially because I'm a woman who was once single and thought that I was doing the right thing by remaining single, cannot with good conscience look on these women and feel anything other than sympathy and sorrow, like a deep sense of sorrow as to what women are missing when they actively choose to not pursue relationships, family, and love with the same amount of rigor as they pursue their ideologies and their careers. And I'm not saying that pursuing a career is not a worthy cause. It absolutely is. In many cases, it is an absolute must if one is to uncover one's purpose and place in society. That is definitely something that we all need to explore in terms of who we are as people. However, it is equally important for us to understand why we are doing these things and for whom, not just for ourselves, because we as people are social creatures in needing of a belonging and in needing of love and affection.
But when we come together, we know about compatibility.
Yes.
What was one of those things that you really enjoyed learning about him that was like really different? The thing that's different about him is that it's not about him being better. He's still a man. Yeah. But it's the loyalty that I like. Ooh. Oh. You know what I mean? It's like I can leave. Oh. And he's there for me.
And he loves you so much. He loves you so. The way he treats you. The way he talks to her.
I have one friend. I was talking to her, and it was a podcast, and you know her really well. And she's like, I don't need no man, and I have my friends. Talking about immediately. Yeah. And I was like, girl, don't. And this is why I'm so emotional about it, because so many of our sisters are so lonely, and they don't want to admit it. And all they got to do is just take a chance. So I don't want you to live your life without finding someone. Like when I go out on the road and I come back, it's so nice to have somebody to say, hey, or pick me up from the airport.
Yeah.
Or, you know, your
Treat you like a
husband
lady.
wakes up.
I will tell you, I miss being in the arms of a man.
Yes, that's real.
Yeah. I do. I really, that's one of the things. It's like, I just want to lay my head on a man's chest. I miss that. I do.
And that's the thing.
I actually was very, very touched by Lonnie Love's realization, right? Because I had the same epiphany when I met my husband that this is BS. Like, why would I want to continue to live my life alone if there is someone out there who will help in the loving of me, that I can share in the loving of me and exchange in the loving of them and build something with? There is just an innate biological need for us to have affection. And that's why we are hardwired biologically to have that level of oxytocin when we share in that bonding experience with someone that we are engaging intimately with. Anyone would want that. And I'm starting to notice, or have noticed since I was 25 years old, what the result of not admitting that ends up looking like for women of a particular age. And the studies show this. You can see it. When you are a woman of a particular age, this is what the dating market looks like and will continue to look like for you. And when we talk about how lonely women are, that becomes more and more evident as we start to age. So a woman who is 25, even 30, might not have the same amount of loneliness as a woman in my age. Now, I don't count because I've been married now 10 years. Been with my husband for 12. I don't really count because I got out of that game when I started to see the writing on the wall. I did not need the statistics, and I will link it in the description down below so that all of you could take a good listen and gander as to what is at the end of the road for us when we choose to actively decenter men, devalue men, participate in the 4B movement, because I think it's radical in the sense of the responding to bad experiences that women have had, but it is not the correct response that is doing us any great good in the long term. If we, and I talk about this a lot when we talk about social media and how social media promotes loneliness, individualism, and just collective poor mental health by not addressing issues of accountability when it comes to our own participation in choosing people who are just simply unfit and out of alignment with what we want in terms of relationship. And we tend to focus our attention and power on the wrong things when it comes to rectifying this problem, with responding in such a way that we have seen that does not benefit anyone. This is going to end societies because we, both men and women, refuse to really engage in proper, healthy conversations about how to relate to one another in relationships. But when you live long enough to see what the results are.
So what we really need to do is pay attention to the cap. When women say that they don't need a man, they don't want a man, they're not really being honest with themselves. Or if they are too proud to be honest with the fact that they really do want to be in a relationship.
Of not rectifying this problem is, and you see the Lonnie Loves of the world getting their stuff together long enough to really address the sense of loneliness that we all honestly feel at some point. We have an opportunity to really look in our own lives and figure out what it is we need to do to make that love happen. I want to thank you guys for stopping by today. I'll get it right one of these days. I hope that you guys are having a great week so far. It is the weekend. Go out, have some fun, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the time, and I'll see y'all in the next one.